Hello everyone, it's Kat here, and this video is going to be a summary of the Oddworld inhabitant story so far. The series begins with Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, which was released in 1997. This was further remade into Oddworld, New and Tasty, released in 2014. In these games, we have Abe, a Mudokon slave for Ruptured Farms, a meat processing factory. One day, Abe stumbles across a meeting of Glukkons, where Mullock, the CEO, decides to launch a new line of products, Mudokon Pops. The key ingredient being Mudokons. Upon discovering that Abe and his fellow Mudokons will be slaughtered, Abe escapes, and upon your choosing, possibly saves a few of his fellow Mudokons.
I just had to be free, so get me out of here!
Abe manages to escape, but his reward is falling off a cliff and banging his head. Here, Bigface helps Abe recover and tells him that it is his fate to rescue his friends, along with taking down Ruptured Farms, which will also free the Paramites and Scrabs, who were once sacred animals. Abe can only accomplish this through undergoing spiritual tasks in the land of the Paramites and Scrabs. When completed, he gets blessed with 2 scars, which gives him the power of a demigod, meaning he can now take down Ruptured Farms. Which he does through saving his friends and deactivating all of the factory's powers. However, Mullock discovers what Abe is doing.
He was pissed.
And releases a poisonous gas, which Abe can only destroy with his powers. Now, if you fail to rescue at least 50 Mudokons in the original game, or 150 in the remake, you get the bad ending. Here, Abe is captured and then sent into the meat grinder to his death. But if you saved more than that, you'll get the good ending, where your freed Mudokon friends will summon a magical lightning that zaps Mullock and the stupid slig that he's with. Then Bigface will appear, rescue Abe, and transport him home, where he receives a hero's welcome. Hooray! Following this game is Abe's Exodus, which was released in 1998. This follows immediately after the ending of the first game. Abe falls and bumps his head, and he gets a vision where 3 spirits tell him he needs to rescue the blind Mudokons, who are exhuming the bones of their dead at an ancient burial Mudokon ground to create Soulstorm Brew. Oh yeah, and the Mudokons have to be blind so that they don't know what they are extracting so that they can continue working. Abe goes with a group of mates to the ancient burial grounds and they stumble across Soulstorm Brew. His friends become immediately addicted and then fall sick. And Abe finds out that the brew is made from the bones of the dead Mudokons, which leads to him helping his friends and trying to rescue the Mudokons who are trapped. To help his sick friends, Abe goes to the burial vaults to free the trapped Mudokon spirits, who give him the power of healing to help all the Mudokons sick from the brew. Freeing the rest of the Mudokons are hard, as the Glukkons have sealed off access, so Abe possesses them so that he can shut down the security measures. During this process, we also discover that the brew is made from Mudokon tears. Abe manages to destroy the brewery. Again, you get the bad ending if you saved less than 150 Mudokons, who end up ganging up on Abe and leaving him attached to a tear extractor, which eventually kills him. With the good ending, we see the saved Mudokons have started a rehab clinic for recovering from the brew.
Hey, Miss Elf.
Abe vows to save more Mudokon slaves, and we see more Mudokons still trapped in cells, which is absolutely heartbreaking, and hopefully we see them getting free in the new Soulstorm game. Following this game is Oddworld, Munch's Odyssey, which was released in 2001. Here, we meet Munch, a Gabbit, who is the last of his kind, as the Glukkons have harvested Gabbits for their eggs to create Gabbia. Original, right? Munch is captured and then taken to Vika Labs for his lungs to be harvested. He also has an electronic device attached to his head, which was intended to be used for his captor's gain, but Munch learns how to use it for his own benefit, freeing the Fuzzles in the process, who in turn saves Munch and sides with him throughout his journey. Again, Abe is a part of this game and is told by Raisin that he needs to help Munch, which he kinda does. When the duo arrive back to Raisin, they are informed that they need to work together to to get back into Viker Labs to find the eggs of the unborn Mudokons that Abe needs to save, and Munch needs to go back to discover where the last can of Gabia is so that he can save his species from extinction. Raisin tells them that the only way that they can get into Viker's lab is to make Lulu extremely rich, so that he will go to the auction where the last can of Gabia will be sold. The gang manage to save the unborn Mudokon eggs and then go to possess Lulu and force him to purchase the last can of Gabia.
Going!
What am I doing? 3 million
Once they've purchased it, Abe and Munch quickly steal it and escape the lab. And as they are, Viker Lab blows up from the explosions the Fuzzles planted in there. Man, you gotta love them. Hooray! Munch's species are saved. However, if you did not save enough Fuzzles, you do not get this ending. And both Abe and Munch are experimented on, and they are killed instead, with the last can of Gabia being eaten. Lastly, we have Oddworld, Stranger's Wharf, released in 2005. This is a very different storyline from the previous 3 games, and doesn't include Abe, but it is still part of the series. This game follows Stranger, a bounty hunter who catches various outlaws to raise moolah for an operation that he needs, but he cannot afford. I mean, heck, his doctor is ripping him off. But I'm not surprised, considering how horrible those creatures were in Munch's Odyssey. While trying to catch these outlaws in Buzzatron, he has a call with Mr. Skeeto, who offers him 20,000 moolah if he can catch and bring him a Steve. He then leaves to catch more outlaws, and on his journey, he pays a visit to his doctor, only to discover that he has been hung, with an outlaw waiting for him. This outlaw was tasked with capturing Stranger upon Skeeto's request. The two have a fight and Stranger loses and is knocked out and taken to the man's hideout. When he awakes, he discovers he is tied up, with his weapon and gear stripped. The outlaws interrogate Stranger, believing that he knows where the Steve are. Instead of getting an answer, Stranger's surgery papers fall out of his poncho, and the outlaws discover that Stranger is a Steve.
It's a goddamn Steve!
Thankfully, a flurry of arrows enter the hideout, which gives Stranger the opportunity to escape, where he runs to a native grub village. Here, the grubs upgrade Stranger's weapons and gear. It should be noted that long ago, the grubs were protected by the Olden Steve, which could be why they are so friendly to Stranger. Stranger wishes to travel back to hunt down Skeeto, but he can't without the grubs' help. They agree to help him, but only if he can save their village from the Wolvark attacks. Stranger does, and the grubs live up to their promise. When Stranger confronts Skeeto, he is forced to fight him and his twin brother. Stranger wins, destroying the dam in the process. Yay! Happy ending for the grubs who now have water so that they can fish and have a vibrant land. Who didn't earlier because of Skeeto. On the other hand, Skeeto is crushed by debris, but Stranger manages to drag him back to shore, where he turns him over and discovers that he is the Olden Steve, who asks,
Is the water free?
And then dies peacefully, while Skeeto's twin brother swims away. Dang, they need to bring out a sequel. So that is the whole story so far. I hope for the new game they keep the original humour of Exodus.
The Magog on the March. News you can use.
And you know, that Abe can still possess farts. Thanks for watching everyone. I'll see you all next time. Peace.